We're going to get right into it, and we're going to start with Riv and JC. They're going to debate, and it's going to be Bradley Beal or Jayson Tatum. We know that Bradley Beal averaged a ton of points this past season, and Jayson Tatum has been on an all-star leap. So we're going to debate who is better right now. So, JC, who would you pick, Bradley Beal or Jayson Tatum?
I'm taking Bradley Beal. I'm taking Bradley Beal simply for the fact that he was second in the NBA in scoring. He's not a bad playmaker. I just want to highlight his team. I mean, he had a rookie, Roy Hachimura, pretty good. Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, Jordan McRae. That doesn't sound like a good team. Mind you, since the All-Star break, he's been putting up actually 37 points per game, which is leading the NBA. I think he's a better overall scorer than Jayson Tatum, though I think Jayson Tatum will take it in a couple years. But right now, give me the guy who's averaging 30.5 points per game. And I know what Riv's going to say, empty stats, but I just named you his teammates. So I would just want to ask you, Riv, if Jayson Tatum was putting up these numbers, would you have the same energy? Or would you just – you feel me? So right now, I think you have to give the slight edge to Bradley Beal. What do you think?
So I'm assuming you're a debater and a narrator today. Okay. So listen, I get it. The stats looking nice. His team sucks, so the stats are going to be a little exciting. But let's just put the stats away. Just put them to the side for a little bit.
Okay.
Let's just talk man to man, me and you, eye test. Let's just talk eye test.
Okay.
Jayson Tatum is the more skilled player. He's the better basketball player. Not to mention he can play defense. Bradley Beal, I think Joel is the one who told me this. Bradley Beal is one of the worst defenders in the league.
He's pretty
This year, that's a fact. Yeah,
he's one of the worst defenders in the league. There's no denying that. He's one of the worst defenders. Now, Jayson Tatum, he's still young, and we haven't seen the playoff expectations yet. But we've seen what we're going to get from Bradley Beal. Yeah, he's throwing up 30 points a game, but on the team –
37 since All-Star break.
On a playoff team, he's a 22, 23-point scorer. Jayson Tatum is a 23-point scorer right now at 21 years old. They both can shoot the three ball. I think Jayson Tatum, in a winning situation, leading his team, you got to give him the edge because he's putting on performance night after night after night on a big stage with a great team against competition, and they're going to the playoffs. I mean, I think if you switch Bradley Beal and you switch Jayson Tatum, I don't know how that would fit because, like I said,
Boston would still be a playoff team.
Yeah, but like I said before, Bradley Beal is one of the worst defenders in the league.
But that's the thing with Boston. They have a lot of good defenders. If you look at the Wizards roster, I mean, they don't have anybody outside of Bradley Beal. He hasn't been good on defense this year. But if you just look at Davis Bertans, Roy Hachimura, Isaiah Thomas for a large stretch, Jordan McRae, these aren't good defenders.
So that makes him not play defense? I
mean, look, so
I think the game is predicated on team defense. So if one player messes up their assignment, Bradley Beal might get blamed for it. So
like kind of how like Steph Curry, like in a Steph Curry sense, Steph Curry, we would all agree he's not the best defender, but he has Klay Thompson, he has Draymond Green, he had rim protection. That helps, you know what I mean?
That definitely does help, but it doesn't help.
Bradley Beal, that's what I'm saying. Bradley Beal doesn't have anybody that can anchor the defense for him, like how maybe Draymond Green would for Golden State, or maybe even how someone like Jaylen Brown, who's a really good defender on Boston. You know what I mean?
That didn't change the narrative. Steph Curry having all that never in our lives changed the narrative that he was a good defender. I don't think putting those guys together would change the narrative on Bradley Beal. I think he's just not that good of a defender. As a person, as a basketball player, as a basketball player, when you're guarding somebody, if you lock up, you lock up. But who's behind you, who's next to you? If you play defense, you play defense. I think you put Jimmy Butler in that system, he may not put up the points, but he's still going to play defense. You put Klay Thompson, he's still going to play defense. It's just if you play D, you play D. It's just Bradley Beal's.
So
I think
obviously
scoring, I think Bradley Beal may put up more points, but Jayson Tatum is sharing the ball with Kemba, who's a 20-point scorer. Jaylen Brown's a 20-point scorer.
So wouldn't that make things easier, though, that you have more people that the defense has to worry about? You're throwing a lot of – I was watching film on the Wizards this year, and there was literally a point after the All-Star break, when he was still putting up 36, 37, that teams were literally doing the James Harden treatment on Bradley Beal, just doubling him at half court.
Fair to
And
say.
you have to force people like Roy Hachimura and all these people. I want to add in that Bradley Beal is a very underrated playmaker. He's a really good passer.
No,
He's
I agree.
not a bad passer. I think he's a better passer than Jayson Tatum. I think that also helps in terms of offense. I don't think Jayson Tatum is the best playmaker, but I don't think he's terrible. I know Bradley Beal shoots slightly better from the field. He shoots slightly worse from the three, but he's taking 8 attempts a game. And I'm just saying, man, the man that's putting up 37, and the Wizards were 9th in the East. I know the East is weak, but in their last 18 games, they were actually 9-9, and they had just finished. Bradley Beal had just dropped 40 on the Knicks in a W. And if you look at their next 5 games, they were really easy. They were teams that were below 500. Now, I'm not saying they could have made a run at the playoffs.
Wait,
Bradley Beal is literally
40?
doing everything that he can.
I don't know.
He has a rookie.
Hold on, JC.
Rookie.
Hold on, JC. Joel, he gave you out 40?
I barely watched the Knicks, even though they're my team this year. I'm not
that's
watching.
the last game. That's the last game that showed in the box score, and it said that he had 40 points, and they won. But
I have a question for you, JC, because I think this question hit you in the heart.
Okay.
So you're a Nets fan. If you had to choose between having Jayson Tatum on your team or Bradley Beal, who would you pick?
I would take Bradley Beal just because I have Kevin Durant and they play the same position.
That's fair. But, they both can – Kevin Durant and Jayson Tatum are interchangeable. They can play the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, I think we would need way more of an upgrade at the shooting guard position. I think Joe Harris is a solid player, but, give me Bradley Beal all day.
I would disagree. I would disagree, Joel.
And Bradley Beal's an elite shooter. He's still an elite shooter. He is an elite shooter. This is the only year that he's shot below 39% from the three, and he's taking almost 9 attempts a game from the three.
That's good.
That's fair to say elite. I would say Jayson Tatum is the more versatile shooter because he can hit the mid-range and he can get the post-up shot. He has the fadeaway in his game.
I'll give you the post.
I disagree with you on that, JC, because your upgrade for the Nets, you guys need defense, and Jayson Tatum can play defense. I'm not saying he's a otherworldly defender.
Nah, he's a good defender.
Yeah, he's a good defender.
He's a good defender.
But he can play D, and you guys need that more than anything. So I get the stats. The stats are cool, and they're great. Trae Young put up 29 and 9. His team's garbage. But, I just don't see, I think eye test really tell Jayson Tatum is really nice. Bradley Beal's nice too, though.
Bradley Beal's a dog.
I think that you have a point with the eye test, but honestly, how many times have you been able to judge the Wizards or Bradley Beal off of the eye test? They haven't even been on TV.
That's fair.
Jayson Tatum on TV a lot.
For the casual fan, I understand what you're saying. That's fair. So because it's different. I've seen Bradley Beal play in the playoffs, but he's a different player than what he was when he was playing next to John Wall. So that's another thing too. John Wall's coming back, so it's.
I think this team is going to be ran by Bradley Beal once John Wall comes back. Right now, I think Bradley Beal is better than John Wall.
It's hard to say that because you can't take the ball out of John Wall's hands because he's a point guard. He doesn't move.
In my opinion, one of them's going to have to go. And if I'm the GM,
nobody's taking John Wall's 40.
I'm taking Bradley Beal.
Nobody's taking John Wall's contract. I'm telling you that right now.
I don't know. That's another discussion with another day. John Wall's coming off 2 horrific injuries. I don't even know if this dude's going to be able to really be that guy anymore. But I just wanted to highlight. Dude, he has a rookie power forward who's a nice player. Roy Hachimura is a good player. I like him. But Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, a lot of people call these empty stats, but he has to do this. And
that's
with a team that has no defender, they had Isaiah Thomas, who hasn't been the same since his injury, running the point guard for a really long time. It's just I
would say this
is doing everything that he can do.
This is the first time we've seen Bradley Beal as the man, and he's putting up 30. So I want to see what he can do.
Last year he put up 27 a game too.
Yeah, I want to see what he could do when they're a playoff team and he's the man. So I'm waiting to see that part.